Yeah, I think it would be a good thing. I work with children and young people, and I think for carers and parents alike to have one central point and to have the confidence that if they have spoken to one person who works in healthcare, that they be able to have access to other services.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, Sophia was quite poorly when she was younger, and I often found that we had to repeat ourselves over and over again, and as if every time you saw somebody it was like a 20-minute discussion as to what the problem was, and then it would carry on.
Well, I think it's a great idea, to be honest. Our son's autistic. He's been pushed from pillar to post due to one was CAMS and his paediatrician and another thing. His CAMS doctor doesn't know what his paediatrician's doing most of the time. So the communication would be brilliant.
Sounds like a good idea. My son was diagnosed with HSP 2 months ago. So every time we've gone to different places, it's obviously the information wasn't there, so we had to go through all the tests again.
I'd want more, I suppose, is cohesion, I think, between the services, so everybody's singing from the same song sheet.
They should all be connected so nobody gets missed off or left behind. I think it'd be a good idea that they all have meetings together, maybe monthly meetings where they can all meet up. They should have a case system where they can all go onto the computer so they can each look at each different cases, so that it's all open to every group.
The fact that everybody's round one table and all working together and can all have access to the information there and then, I think has only got to benefit myself as the individual.
It's one of the things I've been campaigning for, so to find out that we in Dudley are a vanguard group in all this, it's sort of delighted me no end.
I think anything that makes it more patient oriented is a good idea, apart from not being able to implement the ideas through lack of manpower, funds, whatever else.
I think the service will be very good in bringing sort of different agencies and outlets together to have everything at one main database will help doctors, help nurses, help the information kept for patients. Things will be speeded up.
I'd expect faster service. Once your GP refers you to a certain section, to be seen within a few weeks rather than months. More structured, everybody linked, so that you aren't having to tell your story all the time to different people, especially with mental health.
It's easy to go to the GP, which is more local. It's just going to be better in the long run.
My concern would be the period where you're shifting to the model and how that happens smoothly, because in my experience health can be very disconnected, so it's a good thing that people are trying to connect it up better than it is at the moment. That process needs to be managed very well, otherwise you'll end up with something that's potentially chaotic.
Then it's not less time wasting, like when you're going and then have to explain all your situation.
I cannot work out why it's not already happening. It seems like obvious to me. I know from experience that at the moment the communication between the different services and that is appalling. They're working towards the buzzwords that are around at the moment, and that's people-centred care and holistic approach, which is absolutely fantastic.
One phone number would be brilliant. If you had one email address or one website, that'd be even better.
Yeah. Putting in another set of numbers, then I think you've got to get rid of one somewhere along the line. I think you just got to keep it to your doctor, because everybody would know their own doctor's number.
So as long as enough people manning all the phone lines, it could be a great idea.
That number should be free when we need to make an appointment. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock, you have half an hour to make an appointment. And that is the time where you have to drop the kids off, you're driving, you're parking. When you ring in 9:05 and they say, you missed you either have to come to the surgery and I think they should make it more accessible for people.
The best way maybe people to people, face to face.
A lot of people aren't very computer savvy, so that might alienate a few people who aren't too good on their computer or don't even have access to a computer.
I rang Sandwell the other day to try and get hold of a physiotherapist, and it goes to a central service and they said, I'll pass the message along, you can't get directly to any of the areas. It felt like a complete blank.
People are on who was online, I'm getting the best service because they can make the appointment to suit them.
One of the things I hate is when you phone up one number and then you get passed around.
The spoken word and stuff face to face is more, I don't know, powerful than perhaps something that somebody writes down on a piece of paper at the end of a session or at the end of an appointment or something.
I know you sometimes get the telephone, like the mobile phone text messages, and I'm presuming not everybody texts back to those. So a way that maybe doing it straight away as soon as you came out, that was part of the appointment, that you had to fill something in.
Feedback's always good. You've got to make sure that your user base, your clients are engaged. It's got to be quite objective driven, but those objectives have got to be set two-way between the providers and the directors.
If you can compare like for like with another borough and they're doing better, or another part of the borough, you can say, what are you doing differently?
Make sure that the patients are getting the best care and they are listened to.
If the people aren't happy with the service, then we should have a say. If I can access my services when I need them to, then I have no problem about that.
Finance for health should not be linked to targets. It's counterintuitive to me, because if you restrict funding because something's been done badly or appears to not be being done well, then I don't really see how that then helps.
As long as a significant patient outcome is quality of life, and that's what we impact on, then I think that's reasonable.
My opinion is that it's really good in general, because it puts again the patient at the centre, and it means that that the services mean something for the patient much more than what they do now.
If you don't perform, you don't get paid, which is like a lot of jobs in industry. If you don't hit your targets, you don't get your bonuses. So I suppose it makes people think more and put more effort into it.